Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Miss Manda Crystal. Yeah. Thank you for stopping by. So as you can see from the caption, today I'll be sharing with you my experience of driving all by myself for the first time in the United States of America. Yeah. I remember telling you in my last video on everything you need to know about taking and passing your DMV written test. I made mention that in the United States, this is how it functions. You have to take a written test. When you take this written test and you pass, you have a learner's permit. So the learner's permit is to enable you to learn how to drive on the American roads, but you need a license owner seated on the front seat beside you, and so you can drive. And remember, this license owner is supposed to be 21 years and above. Yeah, as you already know, if you watched that video, you will know that I have the learner's permit. I recommend you watch that video if you want to know the best way to take your test and pass that test. So you can check on the playlist on my channel and you'll find that video. And before being able to drive by yourself on the road, you're supposed to have a license, and you take the drive test in order to have a license. Yeah, and I equally told you I was coming back to you to tell you how my drive test went. Oh, I haven't taken the drive test yet, and of course I know that was the next video you were expecting, because I told you I had to come and give you an information on how my drive test went. Well, I have an appointment for that. You might probably be asking yourself, but how can you drive by yourself when you haven't taken the drive test yet, because you're supposed to have the license after your drive test? Yeah, that is exactly the same question I would have asked myself if I was watching the video. Well, we'll go gradually. You will understand. I will explain this in the video as it goes ahead. I will answer that question to you. Before we go right into the matter of today, I want to highlight this very important thing. It is very, 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 very important that you take your driving lessons very, very importantly, very, very seriously, very, very, very attentively. Because, you know, the World Health Organization statistics shows that within a year, we have 1.35 million people who lost their lives in car accidents. So that is very serious. Remember, you live just once. You live just once. And I came here to the United States not only for my own self, but for my whole family. I have a family back home in Africa, Cameroon precisely. So whatever thing I'm doing, I always put that at the back of my mind. So when I get into the car to drive, I always remember that. That's why I take my driving lessons very, very importantly, very, very seriously, because it's not just about me. When you get on the roads and you're driving, it's not just about you. It's about other people who are using that same road with you. They also have their families who are counting on them. I don't know, but yeah, it involves so many people. It's not just about you. So it's very important that you take your driving lessons. Very, very important. Read that manual. Read everything you need to know before. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. You live just once. Yeah, that's it. Let's go back to it. So today I want to talk about my experience on driving by myself as a beginner in American roads with no license owner seated beside me. Before actually telling you how my experience was, let me give you another little clue that you need to know. Kind of a little guide, kind of a helpful information for you. So, as I told you, to get a car in the United States of America is very, very easy. Well, when you go somewhere that you know people who have relations, that know how the place functions, it makes everything much more easier for you, and you feel so fortunate, and it's so advantageous for you. Because I got here and my sister has been here for a long time and she knows how it functions here. So to get a car for myself was pretty easy. Yeah, we met a dealer, as I told you in the last video. You have to watch this last video if you haven't watched it, because I shared so many information in that. So you have to watch that video. Check my playlist over here and you will know exactly what I'm talking about. So she took me to this dealer who deals in buying and selling of cars. So I got a car for myself. Yeah. We made a down payment. We entered into a contract, because if you don't have all the money to pay in full, you just make a down payment and you enter into a contract for a number of period that you have to pay the remaining money. So you have to complete it and the car becomes yours. So when we got the car from the dealer, you know, there's that thing. You just got the car. There's that thing. I don't know exactly what that thing is. But yeah, there's that thing. You're like, I have a car. So you're eager. You have that anxiousness. You want to drive this car. But my sister told me, no, you won't drive this car. So she gave me reasons why I can't drive this car. 1, it's not insured. 2, it's not registered. 3, you don't have a license. And 4, there might probably be no license owner sitting beside you, so you can't drive this car. These are 4 reasons you can't drive this car. Because if you're caught driving on the road with all these 4 reasons, that will be very devastating results for you. So I'm like, yeah, you're right. That's true. And I didn't have the funds at that moment to do all of those things at once. So for the insurance and the registration, which were the most important thing that I had to do for the car, I had to work and raise the fund I needed for that. I kept taking an Uber to work. Here I am. I want to save money so I can take care of all of these stuffs, but I am actually paying rights to work. So how am I going to raise that money? Well, that's life. That's how it works. You're supposed to sacrifice at one point in order to get to somewhere, to something, and then you get this thing. Well, you understand what I mean. So when I got the funds, I didn't just hesitate any further. We went directly, we had the car insurance coverage, and I registered the car. So what was left was the license, and a license owner sitting beside me if I wanted to drive with the learner's permit. But everybody is busy. Everybody goes to work. Everybody has a schedule. Everybody has a time to rest. Everybody has his or her own self to take care of. You want to go to work, but you need someone to come and sit beside you because you want to drive to work. In America, everybody is busy. Everybody's busy. And you know, I have my appointment for the DMV drive test. So I need to practice. I need to practice and practice and practice. And how will I get confident in driving all by myself before this drive test? I told you I want to have this drive test just at once. So I need to be practicing and practicing and practicing by myself. You know, when you practice by yourself, you gain much of a confidence on your own, because when you're driving with someone beside you, there is some kind of a safety you feel, because you know there is somebody beside you who can be directing you left and right. But when you get in there and you're driving by yourself, you know that you are all on your own. And it is often said that what you learn on your own sticks more to your memory than what you learn with someone or that someone taught you. So I need this practice and practice and practice and practice by myself equally. That's why I needed to start learning how to drive by myself. Yeah. That's why I need these. So I went to my sister. I was like, okay, now the car is insured. It's registered. Can I drive by myself? She was like, yeah, you can. But you have to be extremely, extremely careful. You have to be careful. I'm telling you this because you have to be careful. I'm like, yeah, I'm aware of that. I'm really aware of that. I will make sure I am very, very careful. She's like, okay, because I don't want anything to relate to you and to relate to me, and so you have to be so careful on the road. I'm like, yeah. And she had all the right. So this was the night before the next day I had to drive by myself to work. Yeah. Do you know how I felt that night? I actually barely slept that night. I felt my heart beating. I felt my temperature a little higher. Like, that fever. For tomorrow, I'll be driving by myself on the road with no one sitting beside me. I have been practicing and driving on the road with someone sitting beside me, but this one, I'll be all by myself. So the whole night, it kept ringing in my head that, Manda, you will be doing this. So it wasn't an easy night for me. I didn't sleep that deep. Meanwhile, I actually needed to rest very well. So that morning came, I got into the car. I made my little prayer. I told God, God, into your hands, I commit my spirit. Lord, please be with me in this drive. I know I have been driving, but this time I am all by myself. And I'm calling on to you because I don't want to be all by myself. I know that you're here with me. I made this prayer and I said, Amen. And I told myself, I can do this. So I turned on the engine, put my seat belt, checked my mirrors, checked around me. Everything was okay. I took a deep breath. I was in the parking space. I had to back out from the parking space to get into the road. What's the first thing I do? Trying to reverse to back out of the parking space. The first thing I do is I hit an iron bar behind me. Yeah. I stop immediately. I take another deep breath. I'm like, we haven't gotten anywhere. And this is the first thing I do? Crazy. Getting all messy already. And my heart starts beating again. I'm like, calm down. I take another deep breath. Well, it was not a big deal because I just slightly hit the bar. I just touched the bar and I stopped immediately. So I had to adjust that real quick. And yeah, I get out of the parking space correctly. Hello everyone. Before I dive into this video, please, I am crying. You know what? To record a video is not an easy thing. All the recording and stopping and the editing, you have to edit, cut, copy, paste, turn it upside down. It's not an easy thing. So you watch my videos and you don't like, you don't comment. Talk less of even subscribing. You don't subscribe. This work, it is hard work. So please, don't forget to subscribe to it. Well, go right now and subscribe. Well, I'm begging. I'm begging, please subscribe. Thank you. So about to get into the road, I checked left and right for oncoming cars. No car was coming and I dive into the road. So I'm going. How am I feeling right now? Feeling a little tense. But I keep going. I'm going gradually. Checking my mirrors all the time in order to know the situation around me. I look at the signs on the road. I make sure I respect the speed limits. I make sure I don't drive so slowly, not to be the cause of traffic. So I'm following the traffic. I'm making sure I'm staying right on my lane. I turn on my signals when I need to turn left or right. I make sure I indicate that. I stop where I have to stop. I slow where I have to slow. And everything looks all right. I breathe. I try to relax on the road. And yeah, everything sounds good. Everything looked good. So traffic was flowing and everything was good. I didn't call for attention or anything. And here I am getting comfortable. That tense nature a little bit evaporating for me. And I get to a point where I had to turn left. And I didn't realize because I was speeding. I got lost into my comfort that I started speeding, and I just realized in last seconds that I had to turn left. And what do I do? Like all of those information, because I had to turn left, so I have to indicate that I have to turn left, I have to slow, and I have to turn. But with all of that at the same time, and I was speeding, instead of pressing the brake, my leg goes on the accelerator, and I see myself increasing instead in a very sharp blast. And just in a reflex action from accelerator to brake, I brake immediately, and cars behind me, everybody just stopped. Luckily enough, there was no car that was following me very closely, so I adjusted that real quick, and I just got into the turn that I had to get into. Here I am, breathing heavily, my heart beating hard. I take a deep breath, I keep going, but I am feeling a little tense and I'm trembling a little. Yeah, it's normal. So I keep going and make sure I get back super alert. But I got comfortable, and that's what led me into that. Thank God it was not a road that was full of traffic. I don't know what would have happened to me, but let's not talk about that. That's okay. It was tough. We got this right, and I kept driving on to work, and I drove to work safely. I parked. I stopped there for a while. I took a deep breath. I said, Lord, thank you. I'm safe at work. Okay. I go to work. I finish working. I have to drive home. So I got into the car, did everything I had to do. Seat belt, check mirrors before backing out of the parking space. And I get right into the road. I make sure I turn my headlights on because it was night. This time I was very, very alert. I wasn't getting comfortable anymore. So I make sure I was there watching my mirrors, watching around me, watching everything before I do anything. And I got home safely, and this time it was smooth. I had no major incident when I was coming back home. Everything was fine. Yeah, that was my first time driving by myself.
Wow!
Yeah, thank God. Whew. Just explaining the story, look at her, all sweaty. Yeah, I got home safe. The second day, I still had to drive to work. I made sure I corrected all my mistakes I did on the first day. So I watched out for this iron bar when I was backing out of the parking space to go to work. And that entrance where I nearly missed, when I was getting there, I was already alerted. Yesterday, I did something very wrong over here. So I corrected that. I got into there very smoothly and drove my way to work. And coming back, I did the same thing. And today was my third day driving all by myself to work. So I went to work and I'm back. Yeah, you have my experience, but now you might have probably stopped by this video because you are maybe planning to move to the United States and you know you have to drive by yourself, or you are planning on driving by yourself for the first time and you don't know, you just want to know people's experiences of taking it for the first time so that you should get confident about you taking a drive by yourself for the first time. Yeah, you're surely a beginner like I am. It's not an easy thing. Yeah, so what I would advise you is when you get into that car, stay alert. You have to remain alerted all the time. You need to be alerted all the time. Don't get comfortable. No, don't get comfortable. Don't get distracted. Your phone and anything, don't let anything distract you. Remember, you're a beginner. All those pros, when they do it, don't watch them. You're a beginner. You have to be very careful. You have to protect yourself and protect other people who are on the road. So this is very important. So yeah, equally, if you want to drive by yourself for the first time, go to a road that you have been driving there before with somebody beside, because American roads are complicated. And I will not recommend you get yourself involved in a road that is strange to you, a road that you haven't driven there before. I took this journey. I have been driving this road for a longer time, but with somebody sitting beside me. The only difference was that I was driving by myself. I've been taking this journey with someone from home to work with someone sitting beside me. So this time it was just the same road, but with nobody beside me. That was the same thing. So if you want to drive by yourself, don't go on a road that is full of traffic. Go on a road that has slight traffic and you can be practicing there by yourself. I hope you drive carefully, stay safe, and take care of yourself. I'll be coming back to you soonest when I take the drive test, because it's scheduled for not too long from now. So when I take my drive test, I'll come back to you and tell you how it went. So I please beg you to pray for me. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video. Bye. Ciao.